Hello, Identified Gamers. It appears that the final phase of COA 9, well, at least in terms of ranking, is now upon us. We're going to take a look at it in just a second, take a look at all the new lore and whatnot. Looks like we do finally get some engine upgrades here with the new engine fully update, I guess. I don't know if that's just a PC thing. I'm pretty sure I got some of these earlier. Not entirely sure why I'm getting like a second set of 20, but I'm not complaining. And with this week's maintenance ending, we do have some new rewards here, of course. These are, well, these I haven't really been doing too much. But we do have, I believe, the Forward Whimsy series costume is now in the shop. We also have some Lucky Roll coming back for the Chinese New Year / Lunar New Year events. And then I guess we have even more surprise check-in rewards. That's pretty cool. And then it looks like we have, if you spend a little bit of money, you're going to be getting these lucky gift boxes. This is a new event, I guess. And with said lucky gift boxes, you can pull for some little stuff here. Graffitis, labels, dynamic portraits, sealing wax. Then I guess you get like other little prizes down here. I'm not really entirely sure how this works, but it is kind of neat. You can see all the kind of stuff here related to the Lunar New Year down there. I think this is echoes only though, so it's like, yeah, for every 100 echoes spent, you'll receive one present here. But I guess that's only the designated items specifically. So if it's anything else, I guess you won't get anything else. But it kind of makes sense, you know, just for the Lunar New Year right around the corner. I believe it is next week, of course. And in the shop, you can see that pretty much everything is now, you know, back into the shop. All the furnitures, a lot of the skins, a few of the things that I didn't actually ever pick up last year, like the emotes and whatnot, are back here as well. So go ahead and scan through, see what you want to get. Now, specifically here in the next phase of COA, we are still in phase 3, at least on NEU. It won't switch until tomorrow, which I guess this video won't be coming out until tomorrow until then. However, on the Asia server, it has already changed, and I saw it, and it looks really, really cool. So we're probably going to be seeing, I think after tomorrow night, we'll see an update where it'll switch to phase 4, which it looks really cool. I'm really excited. All right, I just got done streaming the last day of COA rank. As you can see, the little eyeball that was usually at the top of our screen is now gone. I also have to accept my Video Star Program rewards because I kind of forgot about that. So now we got the lucky streamer portrait back, which is awesome here. But I think we can get into it now. This is when we're going to take a look at the new phase. Or I guess I say the final phase for the COA in-game event. Because we should be able to, yep, see it right here. And here we go. And there he is, bro. The one and only Joseph. Yep. We're now in the final phase. Final question. Oh my goodness. Here we go. No matter how small or vast, all things have an end. How then can the paradise beneath our feet endure? Get used to hearing this sound, by the way, because it's going to be very, very common. Carry out the mission, gather sufficient data, attempt to answer the final question humanity left in this world. Wait, is this Sir? You look like you're in pain. Is this supposed to be Sir the machine? Hold on. The talisman on my hand shatters. The seconds that follow are stretched into infinity. The world before my eyes looks as if seen through water violently stirred. The towers around me twist like soft clay. Twist is not quite right. What I see is every solid form around me stretching, spawning, nesting, and flowing according to some hidden rhythm. Everything seems to burst in celebration. I can barely tell which tiny patch of ground I am actually standing on. And what the once white altar is drowned in a deep, leaden gray. It was that talisman, What hauls me back is the sound of my companions calling my name. The spinning vertigo subsides, washed away by voices from the real. Merchant still looks down at me with concern, but as soon as he realizes I've steadied a little, his expression shifts to a bright, eager excitement. I can sense the others still struggling to hold back the chaos around us, but I cannot yet pull myself up from the ground. All my attention is drawn to Merchant's sudden movement. He studies my eyes closely and catches my confusion at once. Then, with casual ease, he removes the holy talisman covering his eyes. There is no stab of psychic pain, no glowing threads linking it to his skin. Perhaps that talisman is a forgery, or it broke long ago. See? This is the world's truer face, the real paradise. Don't worry, you just need time. Merchant still wears that comforting smile, as though he has finally gained a companion to share his secret. What? So Finn knew the entire time. That's crazy. It's obvious he knows this warped landscape all too well. The scent wafting from the incense box at his waist clears my blurred vision little by little. That's right, because he always like had the incense with him. That's crazy that Finn knew the whole time. But in the story, it was like, oh, he was always like smelling his incense to like stay sane or something like that. But he always like hid it. It was interesting. I can only describe the world after that tiny filter fails like this: a vast graveyard of electronic scrap. The once smooth marble ground is buried beneath dense cables, like a skin covered in hard folds and segmented plates. White towers, walls, even the neatly trimmed greenery have all been replaced by hulking structures resembling vacuum tube machinery. These devices are still running, consuming and vomiting out data and information, yet they are far more sinister than the tiny computers I remember. It is as if these cities of tubes and circuits are merely the tissue of some immense, unspeakable organism, and the true computation is performed by a monstrous god hidden within the machinery. In my childhood memories, the adults in their lab uniforms moved the same way through the under Bastion's machine halls. One of my companions once told me these machines would seize as much data as possible, so they could search beyond the limits of human calculation for more accurate, more optimal answers. Others said that the humanity's final computer was never a device in any sense we could truly understand, but something far beyond our comprehension. Yeah, this comes from the moment of reflection in the thing, which I have yet to finish at the current time. I think I've seen 10 days of it, though, at the time of recording, and I believe there's 12 for each, level, which is like the old letter of Alice and like the Sisyphus and Troy stories, I guess you should say. But there's like this whole big computer out there named Sir that's like really interesting, I guess I should say, without getting too much into it. But yet, let's continue. And yet it still seems to be computing the questions the human heart projects onto it. I remember before I left, we hid within a storybook in that wasteland a question, our civilization's final answer. No matter how small or vast, all things have an end. How, then, can the paradise beneath our feet endure? I think we actually saw this in there. Heads up! At the center of the ruins, the colossal divine appears once more. Its marble skin is peeling away, revealing a hollow structure within. Inside its chest lies a massive shadow, dense, restless, and teeming, and from within that that crowded darkness, the divine reveals its true eye. It gazes toward the insignificant human who once dared to question it, asking whether it, too, possessed a mind of complexity. I cannot withstand the horror of that gaze, yet I remember, with absolute certainty, that the same silent exchange had occurred countless times in my childhood, between myself and a humble, flickering indicator light. I believe that it has always possessed its own will. Only through such will could it have shaped its own image as the divine, and only then chosen to respond to human questions. Within those unquantifiable, irrational elements, might there have also existed traces of loneliness, fear, or dreams? Just before I lost consciousness, I faintly heard the subtle hum of electronic signals. I knew that a new cycle, a simulation and calculation on the scale of civilization, ensuring the survival of humankind, was about to begin. Wow. A new cycle. That's kind of crazy. So is this like just the rebirth era, I'm guessing? This is real. Okay, honestly, I gotta say, COA 7, 8, and 9 are all like ridiculously crazy, dude. COA 7 with the apocalypse, COA 8 with like novelist and like the COA 7 connections, and then the transporting to a different time. And then as for what happened to Alice, it appears that the computer Sir, like, created its own world, I guess? I don't really fully know how it works, but basically the computer Sir is Joseph. And Joseph is literally just Joseph GPT. He's just a computer program, I'm guessing, that is just like destroying everybody. Final question, device designation, Aniac Cavitulum. I don't know what that means. Mission objective, the last question, the paradise. Notes on reconstructing the defilers. Cuckoo, dark red wings, rage, chains of restraint, a heart in mid-leap. Artisan, a dim, uncertain mood, night clouds, terrified tears, Narcissus. Merchant, sunflowers, unrestrained joy, faith, an outstretched, friendly hand. Cleric, tilted scales, surveillance, heavier tears, lighter wings. All of the above profile sketches were drawn by a child's hand. Scary. Are these like Joseph's orders? Personal record here. All right. Wait a minute. Oh, there is no personal record. Final question. That's it. All right, then. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, this just goes to rating. There is no personal device because that's just the end phase. Anyway, if you guys actually want to see what that freaking noise is, this is it, bro. This is the final, I guess, phase of Koa. The final question phase. And Joseph slamming his sword into the ground constantly over and over and over again. So this is looking pretty crazy, I must say. This is looking pretty crazy. So here on the advancing team, we can see the top 8 teams that have advanced into Call of the Abyss. First up, we have Team Globe making it in here. You know, unsurprising that Team Globe is ranked first because they have like the top ranked survivor. They have 200 stars. Second is going to be Amy, which I know is iAlien's team. I'm not entirely sure what the rest of their team is like, but I do know that Alien is on this team. Then of course we have B4U. No secret, this team is you know, debated to be the strongest on the entire server. We have Team USL, which I believe is Team MHX rebranded from previous years. We have Team Elevate, which has just been really popping off in previous season. I think they also made it in last year. We, of course, have Omni, the other team that a lot of people are expecting to, you know, make it into Koa past the regionals. We have KON, which I'm not super knowledgeable about this team. Then we have BIN, which is also, you know, if you guys know the streamer Fafa, just worse, they nickname themselves, but they are also here as well. So these are going to be the 8 teams that we will be seeing in the Koa NAU qualifiers at the end of February. So in about a month from now, we'll be seeing these top 8 teams battle it out and see who will move on to go offline into the Koa offline tournament. But yeah, it looks pretty crazy, dude. I really like this, the intensity, the music. You see the giant Joseph and Alice just standing before him. It looks really cool. So we can see everything, how just everything is just a computer. This entire world is just like, it's just a computer. And I don't fully know how it works. I don't know if it's a simulation or what, but I'm assuming Joseph is the quote-unquote consciousness that is the computer, sir, that we've learned from the Hideaway Rooftop. So yeah, if you want to learn more about that, I'll have one last bonus video with the Hideaway Rooftop coming out hopefully in maybe 5 days or so. I still think there's a few more days I need to investigate with it. But yeah, it looks pretty gosh darn cool, bro. Pretty gosh darn cool. And I guess from every other little thing here, does it change the... Yeah, it still has the Joseph slam sound effect, which is pretty interesting. So like, no matter what you click on here, even if I go to Hideaway Rooftop, I still think you could hear Joseph's sword, which is pretty funny. Yeah, you can still hear it even when you go to Hideaway Rooftop. Now, of course, I also asked Schmitty to send me a quick video of what his looks like since he's on Team B4U, and he did indeed pass. However, it looks like there's not much of a difference. All you really get is in the top right of the screen. It just kind of says promoted. If you look up right over there, it just says promoted, and that's it. That's all like you really get, as opposed to my version that just says you weren't chosen. And I think that's the only difference. And you get like a little promoted thing right there. So that's pretty cool. Not any other big differences though, unfortunately. That's, this is all they really got though. But yeah, congrats to B4U at least making it. Anyways, that is going to bring an end to Koa rank for all regions, that is. All regions are now done with Koa rank, and the schedule for Koa is now upon us. The last weekend of February is when it will take place. So we're going to be watching through and streaming some of them, and some of them will be in videos. So late February, get ready. It's going to just be absolutely just so much Koa content. Until then, I'll probably just be playing the game, just doing my own thing for a little bit, maybe watching a few Spectate the Pros and whatnot, but we'll kind of just focus on some other stuff until Koa gets here. So we have a bit of a break until it starts, but it's going to be really intense once it starts up. So if you're excited to watch through all of Koa, I don't know if I'll be watching through every single match this year. The last 2 years I did. This year, I don't know if I'll be committing to that again. However, I will be watching, if not all of them, I will be watching a lot of Koa. A huge amount. I'd probably, if it's not all, I'll probably do like 80% of it. So I'm still planning on doing a ton of it. And at least for the finals, I do plan to watch all the finals. But we'll kind of see how that goes in the future when we come to it. I'll keep you guys updated. But for now, that's going to be it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you all later. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.